This is it, isn't it? This is not supposed to be here for another 2 months.
It should have been here 2 months ago, but we're not gonna talk about that. I'm still happy that it's here nonetheless. This one got ordered the same time as the other one. And part of the reason why the other one isn't fully operational is because this one wasn't here. Because you really want to kind of bring both of them online at the same time. So you don't want to get too vested in fixturing and setup on one and then half of it gets thrown out the window because it won't cooperate with the other one. I'm happy. We're gonna go ahead and unbox it now and go over it. Now this is the Universal Robots UR20. As of today, this is the first one in the country, the only one in the country, because all of the others are stuck on a slow boat coming over from Europe, heading to the main distribution center in Michigan. My reseller, Adams Air, was kind enough to actually get another unit expedited over air freight. So my original order is somewhere in the Atlantic right now, but this thing just showed up FedEx Freight. So it works to my advantage. I get actually a jump start on everybody else that's still waiting on their stuff. Sorry guys, can't be me.
But this isn't the entire robot though. This is just a piece of it, right?
No, this is gonna be the robot, the control unit. We're gonna go over some stuff. I mean, obviously, I have no idea why the box is cut open. I can only assume that US Customs thought I had crack or something in here. So I gotta document this. See what we got. Now, somebody's probably wondering, why do you have two different robot brands, manufacturers, collaborative robots? Well, I don't really mind having different brands. I can use Windows, I can use iOS, I can use Linux, I can use whatever the hell I want to get the job done. The main advantage with this unit when I ordered it is because it is the largest capacity as far as payload goes, which Productive didn't have a model at that time. I like the Productive. I got to see him in person at IMTS last year, and I was very confident in my purchase. I know the limitations of what it is. Obviously, you cannot compare apples to apples between the two, but this is gonna be, I think, the closest that anybody's gonna get, because most people will tell you, oh, this is better, that's better, but when you ask them, have you run both? No, because most people won't put their money where their mouth is. Now, I guess here's my manual. Nice binder. Thick manual, I will say that. I guess it got jostled, or Customs decided to read it for me. So let me close that up so I don't lose anything. I guess I'll take this home and read over this thing in a couple things. Power cable. Some sort of a stud. I think that's a lifting anchor. A bracket, I guess this is to hang the actual pendant on. And I guess this is the control unit and interface. The tablet, which is used to program everything. I definitely will say that this is a step above the Productive. Productive does work. The Productive actually comes with a Samsung Galaxy tablet, which I guess keeps the cost down, but it does have an enclosed case, protective in case you drop it, but definitely this is a much more robust and purpose-built unit.
Definitely looks more industrial grade.
Yeah, definitely
take a beating. Yeah. If needed, but.
If needed. This is a nice unit, nice enclosure. We'll go ahead and yank this out. Now, interface cable. Hardware for mounting the base plate for whichever primary gripper. Most of these are usually standardized ISO bolt patterns, so they work with a bunch of grippers. Here's the actual base plate. And here is the I/O cable in case I'm controlling any electronic devices or sensors right on the gripper. So this I already know because I had to go through everything with the Productive.
Now, as far as setup goes, you think this is gonna be a little bit easier than the Productive?
I seriously doubt it. I seriously doubt it. I think maybe just because they're, I mean, this is pretty much the industry standard for collaborative robots where everybody now, a lot of manufacturers are starting to pick up. Doosan has theirs, Epson has theirs, Fanuc has theirs now. Everybody's really trying to capitalize on what UR built. But I think they're gonna be a few years ahead of everybody. I mean, everybody's gonna probably rely on their customer base willing to purchase. If the guy already has a Doosan, he's probably more willing to give Doosan a shot on one of their robots, and vice versa. Fanuc is established, but I'm willing to bet that stacking a lot of more complex programs and movements together to create a wider range or more diverse program for repeatability, they probably have more inside their interface than the productive does. That's not saying that it does. I'm just guessing that because they've been ahead of the game per se. From what I've seen, it's like you can do a lot. And the first thing I really want to check is how many interfaces, inputs and outputs this has versus what I was given standard with the productive. I've maxed that out. They do have a modular type setup, so you're able to stack another interface box to add more inputs and outputs. But the base, I was honestly short by one with everything I had in mind configured. So I ended up just adding another one, and now I have like another 8 of each. So I'm fine now. But I want to see how this one is going to compare once I start going through the manual and checking out how many inputs, outputs, because then I can get really fancy with what I have the robot control as far as, you know, washing stuff, blowing stuff off, air knives, and a whole bunch of auxiliary pneumatics. They'll all do the base.
Right.
When you get really fancy, that's when it helps. I mean,
but this one is going on the UMC 750, not the VF2. So we're going to be able to really test this thing and see what it can do.
Yeah, I mean, the main purpose why I wanted this for the UMC is because I can machine really big parts in there. I wanted something with a much higher payload, because even if I'm making small parts, I want to be able to build a mini tombstone or fixture that has multiple parts stacked on 4, 6, 8 sides, whatever it is, and have a robot that can grab and move and put that in place and take it out. And then, you know, when I need to run big parts, I can still run big parts on a single-use basis. But at night, it'd be great if I have a fixture for more popular items like fuel hanger hats and different things like that. I can configure it where I can come back in the morning and I'll have a stack of pieces versus doing a lot of individual smaller batch runs. And then I can free up time on the pallet pool with the pallet changer to actually run different items. But so we're gonna go ahead and get to the next part. I'm gonna yank this off, pull this thing out. We're gonna see what the robot itself actually looks like. Ooh. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The UR Universal Robot 20. This thing is really big. Gave me a lifting strap because this thing is definitely, it is definitely not light. So I guess the first step I'll work on over the weekend is trying to figure out what I'm going to use for a stand. So should have that figured out by early next week, and the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to mount that, and then we'll move on to reconfiguring the window on the UMC so that will be an auto door for lifting up. I'm not going to mount this in the front of the machine. I really want to keep it on the right side. That way we'll still have access to do different things, especially loading the larger parts, which I'll probably put another base for the sky hook so I can kind of save my back a little bit and drop those things onto the platter. But go ahead, be tuned in, because now we're gonna really get rolling on both pieces. Because now they're both here, I can get them both up and running as quickly as possible. There'll be different configurations. I'll be able to let everybody know what I think of both of them and where each one can shine and where each one has its limitations. So appreciate you guys checking out this unboxing. I'm gonna go get back to work because these guys haven't finished their orientation yet. I'm the only employee here.